this is Ben, and I'm going to complete day 22 of WesBoss's JavaScript 30. Today's activity is to create this follow along links feature. What will happen if I hover over a link, you'll notice this background seems to follow me wherever we go. And today's activity can be done using CSS hover and then adding different effects, different properties to the element when you hover. In an upcoming lesson, instead of just adding effects, I'm going to actually add content. So this is kind of just step one for what will be a bigger project a couple days down the road. So let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab all of the links from the DOM, add to those links an event listener that will invoke this function highlight link once the mouse is over it. Before we look at the function, I need to create the element itself which will highlight the link. So I've created a span tag, gave it the CSS class of highlight, and then added that span tag to the body. So let's get started with the function. First thing I want to do is get the coordinates of the event listeners. So we'll say const, and we'll call this link coords. You'll see in a second I'm going to create my own object of coordinates, but this is to get the coordinates of the event listener. And you do so with this method called getBoundingClientRect. So getBoundingClientRect. And this is a JavaScript method which gets you information about the position and the size of the event itself, the event listener. However, I can't use those coordinates on their own because if the viewport changes, say you open your DevTools, or more likely you just scroll, those coordinates aren't going to sync up with where the links are on the page. That's why I'm going to create my own custom links object and then do a little bit of math to compensate for the user scrolling. So I'll say const coords, and then this will be an object. First we'll start with the width. And we'll set that equal to linkcoords.width. And then we'll do height. Set that to linkcoords.height. Top. This is where we're going to start to do math. So linkcoords.top plus window.scrollY. And that'll account for the y-axis when the user scrolls. And then for left, we'll do something similar, except we'll scroll on the x-axis. We'll say windows.left plus window.scrollx. So now I have the coordinates I want to use, and I'm realizing I said chords. We're not drinking beer today, we're doing JavaScript. Alright, so I have the coordinates, and then lastly I need to add the width, height, and the transform CSS properties to my highlight element. So I'll say highlight.style, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that because I'm going to do this 3 more times. So we'll say V, and there we go. The first is going to be the width, and that will simply be chords.width. And let me put this in backticks because I need to add the pixels suffix. One thing with interpolation here that I've noticed is I do forget the suffix for my CSS properties, and then I'm wondering why nothing is working on my page. So what I mean is, if your CSS property needs to take pixels, add pixels. That's all. So then height is equal to backticks, and this is going to be chords.height, and then we're going to say transform is equal to, we're going to use the translate property, so we'll say translate, and this is where I'm going to use those variables for which I did a little bit of math. So I'm going to say chords.left pixels, and then chords.top pixels. Cool. Barring any mistakes, this should get everything rolling. Let me refresh this page. Huh, that's strange. We're only getting the very top. I wonder if there's any errors in my console. Nope, no arrows. I bet you there's a typo somewhere. Let's take a look. Style.width, chords. Yep. What did I say about adding your suffixes? So hopefully that's all I did here. And then there we go. Cool. So pretty simple lesson today. Like I said, down the road we're gonna actually add some content over some of these things. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow.